What's up people, Marco here, welcome back to another ukulele lesson. Today I want to talk to you about something that I love, which is the finger picking technique. Yes, indeed guys. Today we're going to talk about the 5 finger picking patterns that you should know. Of course, you can apply these finger picking patterns on the ukulele, but also on the guitar. And this is one thing that I want you to realize, guys. Every time you learn something new, just put it into practice right away. If you learn a finger picking pattern and you just play it on one chord, it doesn't really inspire you, right? So you have to find a way to practice these new things that you are learning with chord progressions and melodies and songs that you love, so that you are motivated. Now, the first and most important finger picking pattern that you should learn is the Pima, which stands for pollice, indice, medio, and anulare. It's a good thing that I'm Italian so that I can spell out these beautiful words with the right accent. Now, in English is thumb, index, middle, and ring, which is quite straightforward, right? The Pima means that we are plucking the strings with the thumb, index, middle, and ring. The thumb will usually pluck the bottom strings, and then we usually assign a finger to each string. So we have the index on the 3rd string, the middle on the 2nd, and the ring on the 1st. However, there are a lot of different variations. Now, the Pima is a beautiful and sweet pattern that you can practice over any type of chords that you want. For example, now, the awesome thing about the Pima is the fact that we can come up with a lot of similar variations. For example, you don't necessarily have to play P-I-M-A all the time. You could do P-A-M-I, so thumb, ring, middle, index. Of course, guys, if you are a beginner and you're just starting out, make sure that you practice the Pima on simple chords. So just loop 1 or 2 chords and keep repeating the same pattern. Now, the second finger picking pattern is what I call triplets, and I call it like this just because it's a pattern in 3 or in 6 notes. Now, the pattern with 3 notes can be interpreted in many different ways. For example, we could do index, middle, or ring. And we want to make sure that we loop it into a 3 notes pattern like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, this is a beautiful pattern. It works great in classical music as well, and you can practice this pattern on a lot of different chord progressions. Let me give you an example. Yes, indeed, guys, I'm working on this beautiful Beethoven arrangement. And of course, guys, we can also practice the finger picking pattern with 6 notes, which will have, for example, the thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Now, this is the pattern played over a chord progression. Now the next pattern is really interesting, and I want to kind of throw this one in because it's a little bit more challenging, but it's a beautiful thing. I call it the alternate Pima pattern, which basically means that we are alternating between 2 or more fingers. So this is an alternate Pima based on 8 different notes. I have the thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, and ring. So it's kind of a long pattern, but you see how much rhythm we can add to a simple chord progression. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the alternate Pima is a little bit more challenging. It's a beautiful pattern, so I'm sure that many of you will try this. However, guys, really take it step by step. I know that many of you don't really use the ring finger to pluck the strings. So if you never pluck the strings with the ring finger, when you start implementing this finger, take it step by step, and give yourself a little bit of time to adjust and get used to the technique. Now the next pattern is really simple to play. Is the playing together kind of pattern. So we're going to pluck the strings simultaneously. It's just like the Pima, but we pluck the strings simultaneously. It's kind of a simple pattern. It's very rhythmic. And you really need to practice this on the right chord progression because it can be quite boring to pluck all the strings simultaneously all the time. But it can be quite nice. And of course, guys, the thumb is always on the bottom string and then index, middle, and ring on the top 3 strings. But once you learn how to control this pattern, it can be really fun to play. For example, so as you can see, even though the finger picking pattern is so simple, if you can make it groove, and if you play a nice chord progression, then it doesn't matter how simple the finger picking pattern is. I was playing a G major, C major, and F major, C, and back to the G. And sometimes I will add also kind of a percussion with the thumb slap technique. Now the last finger picking pattern is the most challenging but also the most rhythmic and beautiful. I'm referring to the Travis picking pattern. Now the Travis picking technique was made famous by the amazing country guitar player and singer Merle Travis. And with this technique, we play 2 notes with the thumb. So the thumb will be jumping on 2 strings. And that's the reason why, this pattern is so rhythmic. So in this case, I have the thumb jumping on the 4th and 3rd string. And then I use the other fingers to pluck the strings. For example, thumb, thumb and middle, thumb, index, thumb, and middle. So for me, these are the 5 finger picking patterns that you should learn. Of course, guys, you don't want to learn them in one go. Just start with one finger picking pattern, and then as you become better, you can move on to the next one. Also, all the tabs are available on the Patreon page. However, guys, let me know if you like this video so that maybe I can record some of these examples in another video and I can show it to you note by note. It was a pleasure to see you today, guys. Enjoy this lesson. Keep playing, keep practicing. Thanks a lot for supporting this channel, and I'll see you soon.